my name is Jackie and I'm from Pocket of Preschool, and tonight we are talking all about tons of activities you can do in the classroom using Poppets that are going to be fun and hands-on, and I'm going to show you how to sneak in tons of literacy and math and fine motor and science all into play using Poppets. So in the comments, I want you to tell me if you use Poppets in the classroom and what you use them for. It's always fun to learn from each other. And you guys can talk in the comments about what you guys are doing in your classrooms as well while you're watching. Or if you're watching the replay, you can check out the comments and you can always comment your ideas in there too. So welcome. So tonight, again, we're talking all about Poppets because kids love Poppets. Now, I'm sure you mostly use them in your classroom as a fidget. So when kiddos just need to do something with their hands, they just kind of use it as a fidget. So I'm sure that's the way most of us use them in your classrooms. And I know a lot of you guys use them in small groups at reading for CVC words. So, but I want to give you guys tons and tons of other ideas you can do with Poppets. Pretty ones, pretty fancy ones, or just regular plain old ones. And I waited to do this until the Poppets were at the dollar stores more, because when they first came out, they were kind of expensive, but now I feel like they're more affordable, and they're kind of everywhere. So, excuse me. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. So all of the Poppets I have are from either Amazon or, no, I think they're almost all from Amazon. And so if you go to the top of this post, my Amazon favorites are in there, and it's either in the materials list or there's a Poppet list. So you can grab the Poppets I have from there, or you can take your local dollar store. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. So you can use regular small Poppets, just plain colored ones. You can use bigger Poppets. There are also the mini Poppets, which people you can get for key rings. I know a lot of teachers use these little guys at Circle because they're smaller. Kiddos can keep these in their lap and they have something to do with their hands, and they're small and cheap, so you can get a whole class set for a really affordable price, and they can keep it in their cubby. Or I know some teachers have them on command hooks on the wall with their name. So if that works for you, that's awesome. So that's one fun thing you can do with them. But I love those little ice cube trays and pom-poms. So that's going to probably be the first activity I want to show you guys. So you just grab some little pom-poms. Now these are the mini ones. They're a little bit bigger than the dollar store ones, but you can totally use the dollar store ones too. These mini ones, I think they're 1/2 inch, fit perfectly in the little Poppet. So see how they fit. So nice. These are the ones from Hobby Lobby. If you have a Hobby Lobby by you. So you can, the first thing you can do is have them just transfer the pom-poms into the Poppets. So the first thing they will have to do is pop all the bubbles, or pop one bubble, and then you can put out some tweezers from Amazon. You can also use little gator tweezers, again, sneaking in more of that fine motor work. So the first thing they can do is just simply pop a bubble and then transfer it over. And so they can pop and just transfer and pop and transfer. And so this is great fine motor, great hand-eye coordination. So again, just doing some simple tasks, but just making it fun. You can always have them pop all of them at once, so the whole thing is popped. And then what you can do is they can also make patterns, and you can have them use the tweezers. So I'm just gonna make a pattern here in the middle. So they can make a pattern going across with the pom-poms. They can make a pattern in each row. They can make a pattern going all the way across. You kind of pick what you want them to do, or maybe they're gonna pick what they wanna do. So they can either, again, do that same pattern, or they can make different patterns in the same Poppet. So again, so super simple, just transferring, or they can make little patterns in their Poppets, and then they can shake all of them out. Another fun thing you could do is you could add a dice. So it's a super simple roll and fill. So they can roll the dice. I'm gonna pretend I rolled 2, and they can get out 1, 2. I always have them count objects when they put them in their hand first. so I can make sure they're stopping at the right number. So then, and that way they can check it too. So they can go, okay, how many do you have in your hand? 1, 2. You have 2. So really emphasize, have them saying the last number they counted equals the total, and then they can put it in, and then they would roll again, and again, get out that many pom-poms, and then 3, I have 1, 2, 3, I have 3 pom-poms, and then they can put it in, and then they can just kind of race and fill it up. So another thing you could do if you want to sneak in some addition, and again, you can use these regular ones, you can use a big one. This will take a long time to fill, especially for like a 3-year-old. So I suggest starting with the smaller ones first. So you can also add 2 dice so they can roll it and add it up to get the total. So 2 plus 1 is 3, 1, 2, 3, and then they get out 3, and then they can put it in their poppet. And then if you want to even make it a little bit trickier, you can give them just a piece of paper and you can have them write down their equations. Again, you don't have to have all these pretty Pinterest perfect worksheets. These small clipboards, you guys, are amazing. Kids love itty bitty clipboards. You can get like a whole set of them on Amazon, super cheap. I bought a set like my first couple years of teaching, I think at like Office Max forever ago. And I still have them and they're great. So they can write the equation down, 2 plus 1 equals 3, and then they can roll again. So they can use 1 dice, they can use 2 dice, they can use 2 dice and write the equation. Oh, I forgot one more thing. You can also use a color dice. So if your kids are just working on one-to-one correspondence, they can roll 1 dice and they can just say the color red, or maybe they're working on their colors. And they can put in 1 red. They roll again. Purple. And then they can put in 1 purple. Now, these color dice are from Amazon. If you don't have these, no worries. Grab a cube block, just like a cube manipulative, like a wooden one. And you can either color all the sides of it or put little dot stickers on each side. And then you have a color cube dice. So that works too. So, transfer. You can roll and add with 1 dice, roll and add with 2 dice, do an equation. You can work on colors and use a color dice. So many math things. Oh, and make patterns. Now, if your kiddos, if you just put out little pom-poms every day, again, just like anything in the classroom, that's probably gonna get a little boring for them. So never fear. I have tons of ideas on other things you can have your kiddos put in your poppets. So you can also use pony beads, and I'll kind of show you how they fit. So this is what pony beads look inside a poppet. So fun, and again, they're using their pincer graphs to pick them up and to put them in. So you can use pony beads. You can also use glass gems. So these fit in, they're a little bit bigger, so they're not gonna fit in the little dot perfectly, but let me just show you. I'm gonna fill up a couple of them, but they do fit and work in the poppets. So that's another fun thing that they can fill. Throwing stuff. And then if you have also the little like shaped gems, I have all of, so these I bought from Amazon. They're fun to pretend like they're treasure or jewels. Kids love these things. These are fun for the sensory table too. But these fit in the little hole. So again, there's so many different things you can put inside these poppets besides just pom-poms. And I have like a little tray of all the things. I actually use this for when I'm prepping Facebook Live, so I can grab little manipulatives really quick. You can also use, so we got pony beads and gems. You could also do mini erasers. These are some fruit mini erasers that I have. These fruit mini erasers are from Amazon. They're so much fun. So that's how those little fruit mini erasers fit. And then if you have like a regular size mini eraser, those fit in there too. Now, if they're a little bit bigger, like these rainbows are a little bit bigger, they will kind of stick out a little bit, but you know what? They still work. And I'm just gonna put a couple in. And again, you can have them roll a dice and fill it up. You can have them just fill and transfer. So any of those activities, you can have them make patterns with the mini eraser. So that's kind of how the mini erasers fit. I always keep a tub of like kind of random mini erasers that I use for like table time and different activities. They're kind of like just a whole bunch of like random ones kind of mixed in. And this is where we put them too in the classroom. If they find them, like they find a random mini eraser from a theme that I already put away, it just goes in this little bucket. So yeah, so that mini erasers are really fun in here too. These little rocks are from the dollar store. They're in like the floral section. These fit in. So for spring, these would be perfect. You could put seeds in here in the poppets. That one's a little bit big, but did you see that one was a little bit big? So I put it back so they can work on exploring sizes. So if something is too big and it doesn't fit, they can put it back and they can try a different one. Like maybe they think that one's too big and they can put it back. So they'll be exploring sizes too as they put just different manipulatives in. And then another fun one is eyeballs. So googly eyes are really fun for different themes. If you're doing like feelings or an all about me, or you just want to put out something that is going to spark their interest, googly eyes. Googly eyes, well, so fun. And then, yeah, so you can put in basically anything, small buttons you can do too. Anything that is little and your students like, that they enjoy playing games with, put it out with your poppets and your dice and some tweezers, and you have a really quick, fun, and easy table time game. That's just some like roll and fill ideas. And now, I know everybody loves all the rainbow poppets. These are really fun, and then you can put out pom-poms that are that color. And again, if I had, I would put tweezers out. So you can just put this out as an activity, and what they can do, so what they're doing is they can sort by color. So if you have any of these rainbow poppets, they can they can also sort by color with the pom-poms. So again, perfect for spring, a weather theme, and just put out pom-poms on a tray with some tweezers, whatever ones you have, let them pick, and that is a great morning table time activity. Gets them moving and grooving right when they walk in the door. If you have a giant one, you can put a giant one on the table to do this with, and they can also, they don't have to work individually. Like let's say you have this really big one. I think this one's 100. This guy, and again, I got it from Amazon. They can work together in like a group of 2 or a group of 3, and they can fill it up so that, because it's really big, it takes a little bit. So they can all work together as a team and fill it up, which would be, you know, great way to practice sharing and collaboration and all the social skills, because they have to talk to each other as they fill it up. They'll be checking each other's work to make sure they're not putting it in the wrong spot, you know, on accident. And again, you can have it flipped this way too before they start, so that way they have to pop the bubbles and then fill it up. Somebody asked, where are my tweezers from? So these tweezers, these are the Gator tweezers. They're learning resources. They're from Amazon. These are the hand tweezers. These are from Amazon. Again, I linked all of these things in my Amazon list, which is at the top of this post, so you can see it. And I got these poppets from Amazon and these from Amazon. The trays are from Target during back to school time, but Amazon has trays too. You can grab those like lunchtime, those lunch trays, but the lip isn't as big. So you can try that too. So you can put this out. Now, if you want to take it another step further and you have a sensory bin with colored rice for spring, go ahead and, let me put this down here for a minute. Go ahead and put your poppets in the sensory table. Because what they can do is, you can put pom-poms in so they can be popping the bubbles and filling up the poppet, or they can be scooping the rice and fill up the poppet with rice or whatever sensory material you have. Maybe you have beans. If you have, these are those, these are learning resources too. Handy I forgot something, but handy scoops, I think. And so they can scoop. Okay, that one broke. Hold on, it pops right back on. Usually. I've had this pair for a while. There we go. So they can scoop it and fill it up, and then they can level it out. And now I'm sure they would pretend this is some kind of cake or cookie, and then they can dump it. And when they dump it, then the bubble side is at the top, so then they have to pop the bubbles again, and they can fill it up with little scoops. These are just measuring scoops from the dollar store, and I just take them off the hook, so that way everybody can use them. And when they use the handy scoopers, they are practicing opening and closing for scissor skills. So that is a fun idea with the rainbow poppets, especially since spring is coming up and St. Patrick's Day and all the colors. So that's a fun idea. Now, you can also buy like the themed poppets and put those in a sensory bin. And again, you can put these in your sensory table. I just use these little trays for Facebook Live, so I don't have to show you a gigantic sensory table. This poppet's from Amazon. So all this is chickpeas, and I didn't color them. And then these little bones, I think these are from Michael's during Halloween. And then, but you can get little bones from Amazon, I'm sure. And these are just some little dinosaurs and tweezers. Put your tweezers in, and then you can put your poppet in. Now, if you don't have a dinosaur poppet, maybe you have a butterfly. Make it a springtime theme, and you can put that in there. So again, they have to pop it. And then I like the chickpeas because they're round. And we pop a couple, and I will put some in there. And they're kind of like a pom-pom. So they're round, and they kind of fit in perfect in the little circle spot on the poppet. So it's really fun. And again, look at this. When I pick up the chickpea, or pick it up with my tweezers and put it in, using all those pincer muscles, making those fingers and hands strong, so that way when they go to write all the letters or draw their pictures or write all the sentences, if you're in kinder, they have strong hands and they can focus on writing and all of that part rather than actually physically writing the letters. So getting those hands super strong. This is a really fun little dino bin you could do with the dino poppet. Now, I also wanted to say, if you don't have the themed poppets, because sometimes these can get expensive, just put in the plain color ones and kind of have it match. So like these is like kind of a dinosaur colors. So you can put that in. You can also color your chickpeas or beans to match your poppets. So if you have an orange and green poppet in your sensory tub, color your sensory material green and orange, and then they can sort and put them in the poppets as they are playing. And then this is actually a sensory bin this is just a sensory bin I had left over from a Christmas Facebook Live I did for you guys. So it's chickpeas that are green and red. Obviously, I know it's not Christmas time, but you can keep this idea for when it's Christmas. So they have these little Christmas tree keychains. Again, the kids can pop it, and then once they pop all the pieces, they can put the chickpeas, or you could do beans, in the little poppet. So much fun. Or if you have like the bigger poppets, like my kids got this one in I got them a fidget advent calendar, and it came with a Christmas tree and a Santa. You can totally put these in your sensory bin. Obviously yours would be bigger than mine, so they would fit a little bit better, but they could put the little pom-poms in. They can put in the mini erasers, whatever little things you have in your sensory bin, like the jingle bells. They can put all of those things in the poppet, and they can pop, and they can see, oh, the ornament is too big, that doesn't fit, and just have fun, use all those little fingers, and just add a little spice to your sensory table. So yeah, so those are some ideas for a sensory bin. Now, I know a lot of people, as it gets spring, your kiddos are getting older, right? And they're getting older, which means, especially if you teach pre-K, this always happened to me, the naps get shorter and shorter and shorter, and they start waking up. So you can make little mini sensory bins for like the back table for the kids who are awake, or you can use these just in centers. And you can use the little mini poppets in them. You can only put one in there. I just threw two in there since I had to. But so this in here they're those white beans, and I threw in some little mini erasers, some pom-poms to match my poppet, so they can either put the pom-poms in. See how they're, obviously I'm pretending I'm a little guy or a little girl, and they can either sort the beans and put them in, or they can sort the pom-poms and put them in. I just threw some mini erasers in there just because I had them. This is a formula scoop from when my kids were little. Yes, I saved all the formula scoops for my sensory bins. But yeah, so they can fill it up. And do they have to sort it? Nope. Can they sort it if they want to? Absolutely. And it's really not that noisy. And again, it's super fun just to have these. You can also make just the sensory bin. If this gets too loud, just put pom-poms in here, and they can play with the pom-poms, because pom-poms are quiet. They don't really make any noise. So yeah, and these are keychains from Amazon. Actually, my kids got these from like a birthday party. But you can get like a whole set for like, they're not that expensive. So yes. Alrighty. So that is another fun thing. Or you can make this a giant sensory bin for spring too. So another fun idea. You guys know I love a good Play-Doh tray. So this is a poppet Play-Doh tray. Dun 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 dun. So we got some Play-Doh scissors, Play-Doh scissors, silicone cupcakes, pony beads, and then the poppets. Again, just regular plain old ones. So some of the different things they can do. So when they are using Play-Doh with poppets, there's a couple different things they can do. And they might do something totally that I'm not even thinking of. They can just grab little pinches and smash it in. They can do that and just kind of fill it up. They can also make little balls. And they can put the little balls inside. And they may do kind of a mixture of this too, depending on how their hands are. They can, so you can either like little balls. And then if you add pony beads, they can take the pony beads on top and put one in the top of each and smash the pony beads in there. And don't worry about the Play-Doh getting stuck in the middle. If it does get stuck in the middle, it's okay. Once it dries, it'll fall out of the pony beads. So, and then look, they can pop all the Play-Doh out. So fun. Obviously give them all trays so you don't have little poppet balls everywhere. But it would be such a fun Play-Doh tray. Another thing they could do is to like roll a snake. Roll your snake, and then my tape is coming off. So I usually have tape on all my scissors. You'll always notice, because I always say tape to the top. It's just like a visual reminder of them to keep their thumb hole to the top so they can cut all the little pieces, because we know kids love to cut tiny bazillions of pieces. And then they can take all of these little pieces and put it in their poppet. So, oh my gosh. So much fun, and it's something for them to do with all those itty bitty tiny pieces that they cut, because we know they all cut a ton of tiny pieces of Play-Doh. And it's a fun way to practice scissor skills, especially for your kids who do not like using scissors or cutting with paper. You could also too put this out, like if you had your Play-Doh trays, you could have this out as kind of a morning activity. When they all come in. So you could give each kiddo a poppet, a tub of Play-Doh, and a pair of scissors, and they can put it all in their little poppet. So fun. So again, you can make it a Play-Doh tray, you can make it an individual activity. You do what works for you in your classroom. But everybody always asks this. So on my shelf in my art center, I have a spot just for Play-Doh trays, because I always had a Play-Doh tray out. It either matched the theme, or maybe I did something like with poppets. I usually change my Play-Doh tray with every theme, because my Play-Doh trays in my classroom, they got used every single day almost. Like I would say 90% of the time my Play-Doh tray got used during centers because kids loved Play-Doh, and just having different things out, even if it's just beads and poppets and scissors, it just looks so inviting and so much fun. And the great thing about these little trays, which you can get from Lakeshore or the dollar store, and you can use any chip and dip tray too. It doesn't have to be this one. They can pick it up, take it to the table, and they can pick it up and put it away. So it's kind of, they get all of the stuff they need all at once, and they're not going to have time going back and forth, like to and forth, the table or the shelf to get all the things up. So fun. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So I found these really adorable little ocean, okay, how cute are these? Little ocean little poppets. So I thought, why not put it out with some water? And again, you can totally do this with the round ones or the dinosaur, whatever you have. But I just found these cute little ocean ones and thought it would be fun to fill them up with water. So I got these little droppers off Amazon, a cup of water, and look, they're just gonna fill up each. Let me see if they can fill it up without it going over. Or they can just practice squeezing and do a splash. That's okay. But again, we are doing what? We are squeezing these little squeezers. These ocean poppets, again, Amazon, and these are from Amazon. They're all linked in my Amazon shop. And if I will double check after the live to make sure everything's linked. So yeah. But yeah, look how much fun is this, just to fill up the poppets with water. And then when they're done, you can have like a bowl or like this tray. They can just dump it out because it's really not that much water that fills it up. It doesn't take that much. It's just a little bit. And they can pop it and then fill it up. Ooh, you know what else would be really fun? I just thought of, if you put water in the poppets, like colored water, and then freeze it. So then it would be like frozen, and they had to maybe use salt or warm water to get all the ice melted, or maybe it would pop out. I don't know. I know people make those snacks where they put the yogurt in the poppets and they pop it out, and so it's like a fun yogurt snack. But it'd be really fun to freeze water in the poppets. That would be fun, and to kind of like see what happens. So yeah, so again, you can use the regular poppets. You can use fun themed poppets, and again, just transferring that water, squeezing. They're also exploring how much fits, self-regulation, is to not overflow it, to not squeeze it out really fast. So they're doing lots and lots of skills just by filling this up with a little bit of water. You could also use colored water if you wanted. I wish they had clear, and if anybody finds these, let me know, because I will be so excited. If they make like clear poppets, because that would be really fun to do color mixing in. Like if you had red water, blue water, and yellow water, and then do color mixing in it. So somebody asked, will the colored water stain it? I don't think it would, but if you're afraid of that, you make your colored water with liquid watercolor rather than food dye, and then it won't stain it. I've never had colored water stain any of my sensory things, and I've used silicone before, but I can't guarantee it. So proceed with caution on the colored water. So test a little spot first, because food coloring is made very differently, because like the dollar store food coloring, I think, stains more than others. So, and it's not as vibrant, but it works for your preschool. So, and another fun thing you can do, so I have a couple more ideas for you guys. Don't worry. So in my TBT store, I have Pop-It, and I know it's backwards for you. Sorry, guys. Pop-It mats. And what you would do is they would need the pom-poms, and what they do is they try and make the number on the Pop-It. So like, let me find a quick one. Okay, 7. So then I always, it's easier to see it if they use the same color pom-pom. And then what they're gonna do is try and make the number in the Pop-It. with the pom-poms or whatever you decide you want to fill it with. These work, they're all with the square poppets, which I found on Amazon, so that way they can make the 7 and then the 7, and then I have it somewhere. They can, there's a tracing part at the bottom, so they can use a dry erase marker. I just laminated these, and they can use a dry erase marker to trace the number. And then there's also a 10 frame, so if they don't recognize the number 7, they can count to see what number it is. So they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the number 7. And then they can make it in the poppets. And it also comes with a worksheet up to 20, and oop, that's the letter one, and up to 10. You can put them in a dry erase so that you can reuse these, or you can use it as a worksheet, up to you. Again, these are in my TBT store, and they're also in the Alphabet Build It bundle. So I have the number version, excuse me, and then I also have letters, so you can laminate it, or you can put them in page protectors like a book, and then they can make the uppercase or the lowercase. And again, there's a spot to trace it on here, and then they can erase it. And then there's the sound, so they can make the letter in the poppet, in the square poppet, and practice tracing it. So again, just a fun way to practice writing letters. And it does come with the worksheet, and it also comes, like if you're just working on uppercase, just cut them in half and just put out the uppercase. If you just want to work on lowercase, again, cut it in half and just put out the lowercase. And there is a worksheet with just uppercase, one with just lowercase, and there's one with both. So you can do what works for you. So since we were talking about letters, let's talk about some ways you can use poppets for literacy games. Now, they have these amazing letter keyboards. I think they're kind of expensive. So, like if you buy one, awesome. But it's not feasible to buy one of these for the whole class. So you could like put this letter keyboard out, and I'm gonna tell you a cheaper way to do this. So hold on, I got you. With some letter beads. These are just letter beads. So they pick a letter out, K, and then they can find the letter K, and then they can pop it and they can put it in. So they could do that. If you have these letter beads, they're gonna be too big. The letter beads that I use for all the things, they're too big for the poppets, just FYI. So you'll have to use some kind of a smaller letter bead. Now, like I said, these keyboards are awesome, but they're kind of expensive. So what you can do is you can make your own. These are just some cheaper poppets I had, and I just took a permanent marker, like a thin one, or like a regular one, not like the thick, but not like the fine. So you can just write it on there with permanent marker. And then you could use this side for letters, but this side still is blank. So if you wanted to use it for counting, you could still do that. So you could use this side, and then you could do the same thing. So like they could pick out a letter bead, E, oh, I've lost it. Well, D, and they could put the letter bead in there, so they're just matching. You could also have them find their friend's name, like this one says Kyler, and then they can pop the letters in his name. K-Y-L-E-R. And then it's a fun way to practice names, isn't it, with these little letter poppets? And then they can pop it back. And then they can pick another name. Now, before you get mad about the uppercase names, I have their name in lowercase on the other side, because I taught full day and half day. I had a multi-age classroom both times, so I had 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. So I always worked on lowercase or uppercase first, and then I moved to lowercase. So don't worry, I always transition my kiddos. But if I had 3-year-olds, we worked on uppercase first, and then we moved to lowercase. So you could also write lowercase on here too if you wanted to do that. But these are free in my TBT store. These name cards, you can put the pictures in and make a couple sets, because once you start using them, you are gonna use them all the time. Lisa said, is there a good way to keep the Sharpie from fading with use? I can't think of one. If you think of one, maybe like clear fingernail polish would be my only guess. That would be my guess is clear fingernail polish. Otherwise, you might just be retracing them a couple times. So yeah, so again, I love really awesome things like this letter keyboard, but you could totally have it in a center. Like this could absolutely be a center, like you have your names, or like a morning activity, and that could be the activity out. But if you wanted to do for small group, I think this would be the more like the way where you could, you know, afford it. Or maybe you could get a set of Pop-Its donated and you could make your own. So that is one fun idea. Okay, now this I'm so excited about, but it's kind of a very, like, it's a little splurge, but they're little letter Pop-Its. Like, how fun are these? Now you could use these with, these are a little bit smaller. They're like the keychain size, if you can see. You would probably want to use the smaller pom-poms with these, or like the pony beads, because you can see it kind of fills it up all the way. You could also use it with water and droppers. These would be really fun to freeze the water in, but you can do, so these would be so much fun to put out as a center, your little letter Pop-Its. Again, it's just another fun letter manipulative in your classroom, another fun way to work on letters. You could put this out for a morning table time activity, put this out and you could have 4 kids use this. You could have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be like in the middle of the table and they could explore the letter Pop-Its. And again, I found these on Amazon and the keyboard is from Amazon. I bought a lot of Pop-Its from Amazon. So yeah, so that's another fun one if you wanted a new and fun letter manipulative for your classroom. And then we're gonna bring this one back. So you can either use this one or your letter keyboard. Now, if you wanted to work on beginning sounds, I have these sound magnets. I think they're from Amazon. Because these are old, so I'm sure they have like an updated version. But what it is there's here's a better picture. So they're just sound magnets, but I love using these for beginning for sound games because it's a small object and it sticks to things. But they could pick out a sound magnet and then pop the letter. So dog, d-og, d, tiger, t, t. And so they could pick out the sound. Pick out the sound magnets and work on beginning sounds. Or you could pick out a sound magnet and then all of your kiddos at your table for a small group could have a little letter Pop-It and they could say the sound and then pop it on their Pop-It. So you could do it together or you could set it up as a table time activity. But again, these are just sound magnets off of Amazon. I bet Lakeshore and Discount School Supply has them as well. They're great. I love these things and I've had them for probably like 10 years. So mine are a little yellowed, but they work still. They work great. I know a lot of teachers use Pop-Its for CBC. So for this, I wanted to, in my last Kinder Crate box, I got CBC object magnets. Now, you could use CBC like flashcards too. Do whatever you have. You can make some CBC flashcards too. So it's bus. And then what they're going to do is they're going to pop the sounds and kind of like break apart the word into parts. So all the sounds. So b, s. Oh, I didn't pop it on. So b, s. And they're going to pop each sound. B, s. And they're going to just pop and just do 3 pops. So it's a fun way to work on breaking up those letters, having them start to hear all those letter sounds. And again, they are popping it for each sound. These sound magnets are, I'm guessing you can probably get them on Amazon, but these are from my last Kinder Crate, which is a monthly subscription box that I'm an affiliate for, but they have really cool stuff in them. So you can use that for that as well. You could also do syllables. So if you could have your vocabulary cards for a unit that you're working on, or maybe you have syllable flashcards and you could say volcano and they could pop it instead of clapping it. So it's just a different way to do syllables too. So I think that's all I have. Let me double check. Yes. Okay. Oh, I also wanted to say, I tried kinetic sand with these, not a good idea. Not a good idea. It gets stuck in all of these little itty bitty crevices, and it's really hard to get out. Like, I was like scrubbing with like a little Q-tip trying to get it out. So don't use these with sand because it just sticks in the silicone. So don't use it with kinetic sand. Don't use these with like regular sand, because when you go to wash it and get it wet, it's gonna get stuck all the places. But any other sensory material works. Beans, rice, if you have like little beads or anything like that too, like these are great for any sensory filler besides sand. So yeah, so I just wanted to give you that disclaimer too. So I hope you guys loved this Facebook Live all about poppets. Again, all the links are at the top in my Amazon favorites, or all of my poppets are from Amazon. And then if you want my poppet letter mat, those are in my TBT. Oh, and if you own any of my center units, or if you own something of mine, or anybody else on TBT for that matter, if I say I updated it, you always get the updates for free. So you just go to your TBT account, and you can either go to that resource and download it again, or you can go to your account, select recently revised as the drop down option, and it'll tell you what has been revised, which sometimes is easier. So yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Have a great night, have fun. Talk to you guys next week.